Footy Show, great to have you. G'day to you. Great to have your company. Lots to get through tonight. Damien Barrett sat down with Scott Waters, who opened up for the first time. The Saxon Kilda coach on a number of issues and moving on of Goddard, Del Santo and McAvoy. Also addresses his relationship with Chris Pelkin. Very interesting, Jim.
And also with Damien Barrett, we have news on the future of one of our favourites on this show, Jake the Push-Up King.
Oh, yes.
So you need to see that. And, of course, Tigers fans are all about little push-up. And an amazing local story. Inspiring, courageous, and you brought this to the table, Gaz, so we get that a little later on.
Yes, indeed. It's been a very big week for your club, the North Melbourne Footy Club, the Mad Jack Dawes story, also the Brent Harvey incident, and the man we need to talk to is the coach, Brad Scott. He's going to join us live in the studio tonight. That's one of the things you love about Scotty. He's never afraid to front up. Now, Gary, Tuesday night, football's favourite night, EJ Whitten Legends. It was quite extraordinary. What about it? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable ratings for a start just went through the roof. And we saw some vision of some people trying to play footy. Quite extraordinary. We'll get to the bottom of all of that.
Also, a street talk from Footscray. Need I say more? Let's get started.
Crowd up and about, of course, here in the Docklands for the one and only Footy Show. And this show would be nothing without the contemporary, good-looking, smart panellists that we get on. And we've got two of them for you tonight. Let me start with the man who is the captain and three-time premiership superstar of the Geelong Footy Club, Joel Selwood's with us. And speaking of smart and good-looking, from the Western Bulldogs, Will Minson. And this man, Gary, may be only smart. Shane Crawford, premiership star, Brownlow medalist from the Hawthorn Football Club. That's it, Wayne.
Yes, mate, very well be the shortest-lived captain-coach appointment of all time when the All-Stars going down to Victoria. Bad luck, Shane. You didn't quite get the job done. A man that has got the job done since day one on the Footy Show.
Yes.
You talk about smart and intelligent. There are no men more smart nor intelligent than this man. Please welcome John Sammy Newman.
There he is. That's it, boys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome
Very
to
nice.
you, Forsell.
Oh, it's been a very big week, hasn't it,
Has
Gary?
been. For you, you were there, commentating.
Everywhere.
Yeah, no,
EJ
it was,
Whitten game.
Yep, it was fantastic. And
Mate, you want to get back in the commentary chair, did it or not?
No, not at all. No, I liked watching you do it. And Jim, hello, Jim.
Hello, Force.
Jim's been away for a week.
Went and saw
We've done
my
a
family.
clinic out at Ringwood.
Yes.
We've had a EJ Whitten game.
That's
Bloody
it.
good of you to turn
Well,
up
I went
tonight,
down
mate.
and saw beautiful Ian and Joni in very remote Western Australia. So I wasn't there, Force, but I watched it on telly and it was phenomenal. And I wasn't the only one watching it on telly either. What about those for numbers?
No, it was great to see.
Right.
It was great to see all the players who give up their time, and we'll have a very good look at that game a little later in the show. But let's get into this panel because it is star-studded. And the first one we're going to talk to is the captain of the Geelong Footy Club, Jolie Selwood. Welcome, Joel.
Thank you. I'm well, mate.
Interesting game last Friday night. Cats against the Bombers. It was a bit of a battle. You got there in the end, but how are you tracking? 10-4 at this stage of the season. Would you have taken that at the start of the year?
Yeah, we would have taken it, but we would like to play a little bit better than what we are right now. We started really well last weekend, last Friday night, and then just dropped off, and it's been sort of a common factor with most of our games this year. So hopefully we get on top of that sooner than later.
How healthy are you, Sel? You and the great Stevie J. We've watched you do unbelievable things for so long, but it's looked at a couple of times this year like both of you are 70 to 80%. And it's not slowing down. Are you healthy?
Like every player this time of year, you're not at your best, but hopefully we'll get back to it. I've been healthier, but I'm not sore enough not to play either at the same time.
Is that a thing you've noticed? People saying you're slowing down. Is that why you said that?
No,
Has this
I
been
haven't.
a common
One
thread?
of my teammates said it last week.
Oh, your teammates.
Yeah, so, but I copped that quite a bit too. I'm getting one of the older ones at the age 26 now, which is quite scary with
It's not
our
how
young
fast you move, Joel, it's how fast you think.
well, hopefully I've still got a few more years left in me.
Absolutely.
If he wasn't the best player on the ground last Friday night, by the way, he was very close. Hey, what about big Tommy Hawkins? We love the fact that he kicked the winning goal in the dying moments. It was so exciting. He had to work hard for it. He eventually got it. The ball bounced up for him. He jagged it, and then he went searching for the lone Geelong supporter in the crowd, and fortunately there was one there in amongst a whole lot. Have a look at the Essendon people around him.
It's funny. I mean, that was our home game too. So to have one supporter in amongst the Essendon crew, and not only that, there was a few birds flying at him at that time.
That man that was brave enough to sit amongst those Essendon supporters, if he happens to be listening tonight, Foss, we want him to come down here to the Docklands and we'll give him a very special treat. He'll meet the Geelong captain and we'll acknowledge what his wonderful support.
If he hasn't already been beaten to death by the Essendon cheer squad right there and then.
No, he wouldn't have. He may be in the country, we don't know. But if you're watching tonight and you're local, get down here to the Dockland studio and we'll get you on.
Get a cab, we'll pay.
Will we? Maybe not.
Depends how far he's coming from.
And if you're this guy, we don't want you coming down, Jim. North Melbourne supporter. Stay away. We don't want you to come at all.
It's a scary proposition, that one.
Yeah. If only your players were that scary, Jim.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing.
Hey, Sal, I tell you what we did see was you tweeting this during the week. Your brothers turned 30. And a close family, the Selwoods? Or?
Oh, they were quite close. They're twins growing up, as you can see. I think one was trying to help the other one find the 20-cent piece, but yeah, quite close to twins.
Hey, we think arguably the toughest footballer playing at the moment, but we found, not you, Shane, we found the reason why. Your elder brothers, when you were a young 3-year-old boy, we love this story. I don't know whether you've come across a plover in your time, Jim, which is
they are a nasty bird.
A real nasty bird. When this is a plover, they are protective. If they're nesting, Jim, that's it. You don't want to get near them.
We've got them down at our joint. They're
well,
real
they were
angry.
apparently in the Selwood house, and what your elder brothers used to do for fun when you were 3 years old, they used to throw you in the backyard, throw rocks at the plovers and then say good luck.
Yeah, well, that's quite true. The backyard was quite long and we would go down the back and stir the birds up and then they would run back down and jump under the trampoline and I was following as a 3-year-old and they would just be laughing at me getting swooped. So.
That's a vicious bird, Foss.
They take it personally, the plover.
That's a very ferocious
They might be nesting.
When they are nesting.
That's right.
I've never heard of the plover.
Yeah, they've got a real
You
sharp
never heard of a
beak.
plover,
If there's a plover watching, you can wander down.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
You've
Will
never heard
Minson's
of a
been good
plover.
enough to come in, big minnow. Comes in on the back of a terrific victory and the real coming-out performance of big Marcus Bontempelli. Gary had him on as one of his draftees at the start of the year. Big, impressive-looking man, but geez, he played well.
Yeah, he certainly did. Quite an incredible goal that was at the end of the game to get us the victory, and he's been playing some good footy all the year, and we're really excited to have him out in the park.
How good is he, Will? Come on, he's played half a dozen games now. He's won 2 almost single-handedly. He did some unbelievable stuff. Been likened to Scott Pendlebury. Now, is that perhaps going over the top, or how good can he be?
Look, when you're kicking goals like that, you can make any sort of comparison you like because it's
he's a left footer too.
He is a left footer. Just to stay in the game there and not go to ground. A lesser player would have fallen down and just been happy with that. But he kept his feet and picked the ball up and kicked a match-winning goal, which is quite incredible for a young player.
Now, Wilmot, we went down to Footscray. We went down to Footscray just as a bit of a sight gag. The Bontempelli dog food, the new added ingredient, and we took this onto the streets. You'll see this later, possibly if it hasn't been edited out due to health risks. And this was full. And the first 4 people we chatted to purloined the cans from us, opened them and ate it.
No.
Whether they knew it was dog food or not is not the point. They assumed it was dog food and just ate it. So we had to call for reinforcements. Even a couple of dogs, proper dogs, wouldn't eat it, which you will see later.
Well, that's coming up, the street talk from Footscray. Hey, it's come to our attention, Will. You're a different cat. You're a musician, you're a poetry enthusiast. But what I've heard just recently is your other great passion is fly fishing. Is this true?
That is true. Yeah, very much so.
You obviously latched onto a huge one there.
What is it that you enjoy about fly
Well,
fishing?
that's the joy of it right there. I mean, you can walk a stream and you're in the middle of the bush. That's a picture from Tasmania. The isolation, you're on your own, and it's just you and the fish, and you know, the challenge to catch even that tiny little trout. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. That is, you know, is
How'd you take
incredible.
the picture if you were on your own?
Yeah, it's a very good point you make. I set the GoPro up on a slow timer for that one, and I had it there tied to a tree, and I came back and picked it up later. But
It's a great art. It is an art.
And it's skillful too. You've got to work, the two hands have got to work, and you...
Please, come on.
Sammy, I know you'll be right into it. Look, it's
Skillful?
to
That is
get
probably one of the more
fly
simple
fishing-
disciplines I've ever seen. That is, what is skillful about
Well,
that?
because you've got to be able to land, do you not? You've got to be able to land your fly right on the spot. And
Yeah,
you've
well-
got to work it without a reel.
Shane's landed his fly right in the spot for years. Years.
Hard to do.
Well, the
I
beauty of
know.
it is you're trying to trick a trout, and specifically with trout fishing. You
You're
can
trying
do it
to
for
trick
any.
a trout,
You're
did
trying
you
to trick a trout into eating a tiny little imitation fly pattern or a moth or any other kind of tiny little insect, which effectively is weightless. And
Why
you're
don't
trying
you
to
take
cast
him with
it.
you?
Yeah.
Shut up,
Well,
Shane.
we can, and that'd be a lot of fun, Sam. If you're up for it, we can go for a
Up
fish.
for what?
To go give fly fishing a try.
Why don't
If
you
you're
give it a
interested.
go?
Not serious, are you?
Well, not going to mock it.
You brought one in, have you not, Will?
Well,
I think it's a magnificent pursuit. It's
brought one in.
Unbelievable.
What is this?
No, Samuel, what you don't appreciate is, for me and Will,
art.
people of the bush,
Oh, you-
is this, when you go out there,
Bear
you
Grylls.
just take that and a knife and you can survive forever.
Where's the fish?
Wilmot, please.
come
what
on,
are
Sammy.
you
This
doing?
is an indoor casting rod.
There you are. Look, see?
Look at that,
With
Samuel.
with
That's
great
it.
accuracy,
Look at
if
that.
you wanted to, we could just land it
that's
right
quite
on the
good.
There you
schnoz,
are. Look
or
at
if it
that.
was somewhere else.
Jeez.
Doesn't matter what's up there.
Fantastic.
And it's a
The
skill.
challenge to try and land something small like that
Pretend I'm a fish, all right?
in your dog food can. There's the challenge. There's the challenge there. And we're on.
Pretend I'm a fish.
There it is. So, and we're on. So there it is. And we're hooked. But I mean, you feel that, Sam. Basically, that's weightless. There's nothing going on there, and you've got to be able to cast that
That's
at
art.
distance
Oh,
and accurately. Give it a go.
That looks easy, Sam.
Horse, do you reckon you could do that?
That is difficult.
I'm not even going to waste
Come on.
any.
Have a go.
I'm not going to.
Have a go. And get the fish back out again. Righto, Samuel. Come on.
righto.
You're an
About the
intelligent
same
man.
size as
Go on,
the one
Force.
Will
Let's
caught.
see how you go.
Oh,
That's not fly
that's
fishing.
not anywhere
What
near
is
it, you
What
clown.
is out there on the
You got it
finger?
caught on the end of your rod.
Not a lasso.
Oh, look at you're tangled up already.
Oh, look at that.
No, you're going well. You're going well, Paul.
Oh, gee.
Sam, that's not it, you idiot.
So here we're missing the element of stealth.
Look at this man.
No, I'm quite serious about this. This would
I'm
be...
more interested than Will having a battle of wits with a trout.
No,
I mean, honestly and truly, Wilmot.
But that is the skill that you need. It is the solitude, and we think you and Will, along the lines of you and Dane Swan, going out and doing some trout fishing.
bullshit.
Yes, you will.
No, I'm not.
You are. You're going to
I
go.
am.
Where can you go? Will, where would we send him?
Trout farm.
Head up to Dalesford. I'm sure you like it up there. Up to Gordon, Ballon.
We'll work on him in the ad break.
Get on a
but I
plane and
think-
go to Tassie.
Well, we drive up in your car, will we, or what? That'll
You can
be
do that if you like.
Take
By all
some.
means.
Well, let's do it, I think.
think
That's
so.
what we should do during the week. And my favourite bit of all of that was Shane saying, pretend I'm a fish. It's not that big a stretch. We need to get to the first game, Wayne. It is Gold Coast and Collingwood, Metricon Stadium, Saturday twilight. And I'll tell you right now, these are two sides we're going to see September action. Ablett's a freak, we all know that. Hall and Lemons make their way into a very impressive lineup and very tough to beat at Metricon. A team that travel very well are the Collingwood Footy Club. And Grundy, Williams and Langdon come in, all big ins. Lukey Ball out with a calf, White and Elliott out with a hamstring. Shane, what do you think's going to happen here?
Very good at contested ball, Gold Coast. It's going to be really tough, although I really like Collingwood. I think they're a very good side. Although at home, I'm going to go with Gold Coast. in a real close
You're going
game.
Gold Coast?
I'm going to go Gold Coast at home.
I tend to agree with you, Shane. I think the Suns will be too strong for the
Yeah, we got to see the Gold Coast firsthand a couple of weeks ago, and their midfield is quickly becoming one of the best in the AFL.
That's 3 for the Gold Coast, Samuel.
Here's a man who thinks they'll play in a preliminary final, but you couldn't tip against the Pies, surely. Is that a certainty, Shane? Is that a certainty?
No, we should point out that certainties are back this week, Gary.
Are they?
They're back in play, the certainties, so...
Well, you wouldn't be playing on this one. It's going to be a really tight game, but I would think the Gold Coast up there. I think... I saw what they did to Geelong and their midfield, and I think Jolly Boy's spot on the money. Jamie Elliott's a big loss for the Collingwood Footy Club, and I reckon they might struggle to kick a winning score. So they got 4:40 Saturday afternoon on the Gold Coast. I think they might beat the Collingwood Footy Club. We're going to take a break. The coach of North Melbourne is going to join us up next on the Footy Show.
Tonight's Footy Show is sure to be uplifting. We'll review all the action from the E.J. Whitten Legends game. It was V for victory once more, so what happened to Crofts All-Stars?
Shit happens.
Also, Damo's news segment is sure to be as hard-hitting as BJ on a teammate. And it's the Foss in Footscray for Street Talk, where he toasts the new ingredient behind the doggies' recent success.
And this man here.
Plus, Gaz introduces us to an inspirational local footballer. But next, Brad Scott, the North Melbourne coach, is live in the studio. He gives us his take on life at Arden Street. That's all tonight on The Footy Show.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks, of course, to Nissan Innovation that excites and Home Timber and Hardware. Go where the tradies go. Very nice to have their ongoing support, and we appreciate it enormously. Very shortly, Brad Scott, the coach of North Melbourne, will join us. But before then, let's have a look at this game. Richmond taking on Brisbane. MCG Saturday afternoon. The Tigers just got their 4th win for the season. Rolled St Kilda by 44 points. Welcome back, Jackson and O'Hanlon. Morris out suspended. Boston out with a leg injury. Got up by 44 points. Cochin the star with 5 goals. They take on the Brisbane Lions. An unbelievable victory over North Melbourne. Won by 4 points. Green kicked 3 goals. Jonathan Brown's farewell game. Gardner comes in. They lose a very good player in Jack Redden. Pierce Hanley was an absolute superstar for the Lions last week. Jolly boy, MCG, Tigers get a win, Brisbane get a win. Both sides go in with a bit of confidence.
Yeah, exactly, guys. I mean, the Tigers have won 6 in a row against the Lions, so I think they'll continue that on.
home ground advantage. The Tigers will be pretty excited. They like to win these games and win them by big margins, so I reckon the Tigers by about 50 points.
Well, for Brisbane, this is your certainty.
I'm picking the Tigers to win. Please don't let me down.
This is a Brisbane side that performed very, very well last week.
I know they were very good, and I'm hoping they might just drop off a touch after sort of being... OK, very good, no worries. I'm going to pick Brisbane. No, I'm going to pick Richmond, so please, Richmond, get up. No, can I just say something?
Please.
Jonathan Brown, we asked last week on the show to give him a salute to set him off. What a star he has been. And this is what we found from the weekend. Thank you very much. Well done, everyone. John O'Brown. And I'll tell you what, Essendon supporters got it a little bit wrong. Have a look at the way they saluted Jonathan Brown. It was meant to be a finger in the sky, not a finger. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, right. Take that and move on.
Sam?
Well, I find this a bit embarrassing, Gary,
Don't be embarrassed.
All right, I won't be then. I was going for the certainty card, and I was going to put it up, and I'm still putting it up.
Oh.
I think Brisbane are absolute...
Controversial.
Please.
That's a Footy Show first, I think.
Even more reason Richmond have to win. Please, Richmond.
Well, that will mean I don't have to play, actually, because we have our
Either
winner.
way, we'll have a winner.
Either way, there'll be a winner.
It could be a draw, Gary, so you might be the
Could be.
decider.
Any reason why, by the way?
You know what the challenge is?
Mainly that imbecile over there. he's convinced me that there's passion at the club, and the Lions and the hangover for Brownie might continue.
Do you know what the challenge is
What?
if you lose?
No, I don't.
You have to walk from Geelong to Melbourne in the nude.
Shane, you have got the brains of a trout.
All right, we've got to keep moving. I think the Tigers might win, by the way, but it'll be interesting either way. Now, as Jim said, Brad Scott is a very good man because regardless of what's going on, whether his side's performing well or whether they are losing as they did on the weekend, he always fronts up. There's a lot going on down at the North Melbourne Footy Club at the moment, and we're delighted to welcome the coach of that football club, Brad Scott. You can sit. We mean that sincerely too, because there's so much going on for footy coaches, and when your footy side's not going that well, the easiest thing is to bunker down. But you always front up, mate, and we appreciate that enormously. For reasons also other than just your on-field performance, because there's a couple of incidents over the weekend. We've got the Magic Door situation, which we'll only touch on briefly towards the end, but we can start with Boomer Harvey and Tommy Rockcliffe. Welcome, by the way. Very nice to have you. Give us your version, or not your version, tell us exactly what happened and how the confrontation came about.
Oh, look, it was a pretty simple thing in the scheme of things. I mean, when you've got TV cameras, I suppose things get blown out of proportion a little bit. But look, terrific win from Brisbane. We were really disappointed, and you know, Boomer was just a little bit frustrated with an incident that happened after the siren. And look, one thing we wanted to make sure is that as a club, we didn't make an issue of this post-game. Clearly failed in that endeavour. So I saw an opportunity while we were out congratulating Jonathan Brown and congratulating Joel Patfull there, just to ask Tom what happened. He gave me his explanation, which I accepted just right there. So I thought that was it. But clearly when there are things on camera, you know, people want to probably make more out of it than it was.
Look, I guess you've been in the game long enough now to understand that now, I guess, in hindsight. You've had another an incident along similar lines when you confronted James McDonald, with the GWS 2 years ago, which was at quarter time, not during the game. So from that point of view, some people would say you should have learnt your lesson on that occasion.
Yeah, I think that, look, I wouldn't advise any coach to speak to an opposition player. This was a unique opportunity where I saw the opportunity to try and nip the situation in the bud. I didn't, but I don't hide away from the fact that I do take subtle or otherwise opportunities to show my players that I'll defend them at all costs, sometimes at personal cost of my own personal reputation. That's fine, but I know that, and I hope my players know that I'll back them in every instance.
You will have expected this question, but don't you think what you did disrespected the great moment that Jonathan Brown was about to encounter?
I think it was done, Sam. It was already finished. So the thing with Brownie was you know, really fantastic that both sides could, and knowing personally, having so much respect for him, seeing him up close over a decade, I don't think he took any
umbrage,
disrespect out or umbrage from it.
Now, Brad, the Scott boys are reasonably highly strung. What happens if what would have happened had that confrontation developed into a fracas, like your combatant would have said, go away and get knotted, and you would have highly strung said, just a minute now, and it developed into a fracas, then what?
Yeah, I think there's enormous risk for that. And as I said during the week, I think you walk a very, very fine line when you make that decision. And I made that decision because I saw an opportunity. Tom was calm, I was calm, it was handled in the right way, but I definitely see the potential, and I wouldn't advise anyone else to do it. Given the events of the last 10 days, I won't be doing it again anytime soon.
Now, this is from the Herald Sun. This is an editorial they did, I think. You need to pull your head in. A poor example of sportsmanship and leadership. What do you think? Is that just salacious or just opportunistic?
I think everyone's
for them to say that.
I think everyone's got their right to a right to their own opinion, and that's fine. I mean, I think that, as I said, I saw an opportunity. I want to demonstrate support for my own players, and I always will do that. People are entitled to their own opinion, and I respect that.
Brad, let me ask you then about the on-field, which I would imagine would be of more concern to you. You got out to a 22-point lead against this footy side. They kicked 10 of their next 11 goals. That would be the most concerning thing out of the weekend, I would imagine.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, we played some really dominant footy in the first quarter, should have been further in front than we were, didn't take our opportunities, and to Brisbane's credit, they really got on top, ran hard, played really good footy, and we were unable to arrest the momentum, which was really disappointing. And you know, it's happened before this year, so it's something we've really got to address if we want to push the best sides in the competition come the pointy end of the season.
But sorry, Sam, that's the point though, isn't it? You've pushed the best sides in the competition. You've beaten Sydney, you've beaten Fremantle, you've beaten Port Adelaide. So how do you explain for your supporters and the broader footy people who are watching, you're playing against a side that kicked a point in a half of footy, and they get on a roll and kick 10 out of 11 goals against you. So, and you say it's happened before. So, is that a failure from you and your coaching team, or is it a failure from your playing group to try and put in place the things that you try to stop?
I think it always begins and ends with the coaching staff, and in particular the senior coach. So, I mean, that's my responsibility, and we've got to work towards fixing that. And it's not a look. Our inconsistency this year has been really frustrating, but I'd much rather coach a side that has the capability to beat the best, which we've shown this year, than be consistently average. So we do play an up-tempo style, and we've just got to play that style for longer against the best sides and against all the sides that we should beat.
Now, just finally on this matter, did the President, trembling and quivering, call you into his office and take you aside and say, now Bradley, and did he stamp his imprimatur on the whole club and give you a dressing down? Or was he fearful of you?
He's certainly not fearful of me, no, but I don't think he saw that. Well, he didn't do that for a start. I don't think he saw the need to do that.
Hey, one thing that does frustrate the President and everyone else wearing the mighty colours is our inability to capitalise when we do have momentum in games. 5 points, first 3 shots on the weekend, and inaccuracy has dogged the club all year. That must be very frustrating for you and your staff when you set up well and you've got the game on your terms and you're not able to put sides away.
Good question, Jim.
Yeah, it is. It is frustrating because the hardest thing in footy is to generate the shots. And last year, for the whole of 2013, we ranked 1 for accuracy in front of goal. This year we rank 18, and that's not a function of having shots from further out or wider. It's not a function of lack of practice. It's just guys not converting when they need to. So,
Fark, Brett.
And we know that makes a massive difference in footy.
Fark.
Don't talk about that. Yes.
That's Sam's kicking academy, if you're wondering about his language.
Scotty, a later time slot.
I'll ask you one more question and then we'll have a look at this week's game. Pierce Hanley on the weekend. So I'm watching at home on the couch. All your supporters are unable to travel to watch him. He keeps getting the footy. Gets it again and again and again. He's up with 30 odd. I think he had 15 or 16 in this second quarter. Ross Lyon tagged him heavily the week before. He's an influential player. Can you explain to us how it happens? I mean, you obviously had an opponent for him, but after 10, what happens?
Yeah, we did have an opponent for him. In the first quarter, everything was set up the way we wanted it, so he persisted. And Brisbane kicked 5 stoppage goals in this second quarter. So whilst Hanley was having the influence for sure, we thought it was our organisation at stoppages that was the problem. So we had Levi Greenwood going with Rockcliffe, and so to put another tagger in there means that Dal Santo and Zeeble and Cunnington and Harvey probably get squeezed out of that midfield mix. So we felt at the time that the mix was right. Clearly by half-time it wasn't, and we locked down on Hanley a little bit closer, but we were a little bit disappointed not to get that done. And you're right, he did have an opponent, but he had influence in the second half. But I will say, while the World Cup's on in Brazil at the moment, I'm fascinated by we are the only game in the world really that focuses so much in on statistics. Now, I'm yet to hear a soccer player at the end of the game say I touched the ball 40 or 50 times. We focus more on influence. Now, Hanley did have influence, but statistics alone aren't enough for us to make a change.
Okay, the last one, we'll have a look at the game. Magic Do. I know the specifics of it you can't go into too much. He has been charged, so we also are limited in what we can say. But the North Melbourne Footy Club decision is to support Magic and to continue to play him?
Well, unequivocal support for Magic, as we would all our players. And the first thing we did was seek the advice of the AFL and legal counsel, and their strong advice was to keep him available for selection. So it's a pretty simple decision for us.
And have you had to, Joe's probably ask you, the AFL been involved in any decision you've had to take with Magic?
No, I don't think involved is the word, but you certainly have open dialogue with them, and they're very good, by the way. Their people are very good. So he's available for selection. That's obviously a match committee issue, but No, he'll get great support from our footy club, and as you say, not much more we can say about it, given it's in front of the courts.
Well, take us through Friday night footy, because your club, North Melbourne, take on Hawthorn.
Friday night footy, of course. The domain show to the North Melbourne Footy Club. Zeeble goes out injured, which is a big loss. Wright, Hansen, big in. Anthony McMahon and Nicky Dowell continues to play very good football for the Kangas. Sam Gibson plays 50 games. Well done to him, a great story. The Hawks. Rioli is a big out. A superstar player, of course, but another one comes in Sam Mitchell, and that's great news for Hawks supporters. Jordan Lewis, very underrated midfielder, and he's having a very, very good year. Shane, your old club, how are they tracking?
They're flying, they really are. They've done such a great job considering the injuries and missing a coach and having a few little disruptions, but I think it's going to be really close. I think the Hawks will win, but I reckon North Melbourne will miss it.
We've already touched on the goal kicking. As you said, some of the best and the worst goal kicking will be on display on the weekend, and the side that kicks most accurately going to win, and I think that'll be the Hawks.
North Melbourne play Etihad very well, and we've had them there a couple of times and had real trouble with them. But the Hawks continue to find a way to win.
Hey, Scotty. Maybe not good news for you personally, but great news for your family, and that's Al Clarkson coming back into the fold after missing a lot of games.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I caught up with Clarko last week, and he was in really good spirits, and great to see him on the mend, and Hawthorn will only be better for it. Be a tough game tomorrow night with him back, but I think everyone in AFL footy is just wrapped to have him back and feeling good.
Samuel, which way are you leaning towards this big game?
I'm leaning towards Hawthorn, but I'm only leaning... could I just say, I know we've asked Brad the Dorothy Dixes, I am in absolute agreement with what he did, going up and speaking to Mr. Rockcliffe. I would have done that had I been the coach.
Okay.
And we asked questions for a different reason, but if you want my opinion, and could I also give you another opinion? The talking heads and those with an agenda will find what we said about Magic Door being available to play is the wrong thing to do. But until there is some substance or validity to what he's been charged with, he has absolutely the right, and so does North Melbourne, to make him available.
Okay, very well said. I disagree with you, by the way, but that's what we're all about. About who? About the approaching a player in the manner that Bradley
That's
did.
the beauty of life, Gary.
It is a
We
beauty of
have
life.
differences of opinion.
Hey, the best news of all, Brad, is you and your lovely wife, whose name escapes me at the
Penny.
moment, Penny, are expecting your first child sometime around September, which is great news. Now, talk about Dorothy Dixes. If your football side, who are currently 7th, hopefully for your sake, are involved in the finals, what happens on the Saturday morning at about 12:30 when Penny goes into labour and you're wandering down to take on Adelaide?
Well, the first thing is we did a good job of keeping that quiet. I don't know who let that out, but...
Jim.
Your president.
Right, that's really good. We're tight at the Kangas. No, we've already spoken about it in the event that we're playing. Penny understands that, I'm obviously committed to my wife and my family, but, I'm absolutely committed to North Melbourne, and she's really fortunate to have a really tight-knit family around her. So she said that your responsibility is to get out there and coach, and I'll take care of the rest.
You know what you can do is if you're in trouble, send Chris down, don't tell anyone, just keep it between us. Chuck on the North Melbourne top and say, away you go, stick to these plans and hopefully they win.
I think his brother would do the same thing too.
Yes, Samuel, what do you
Jonathan
got?
Brown, just to show there's no angst, he did a recording called Raw last week on the Footy Show, and he has personally signed it and said there's no hard feelings, no animosity, and he'd like you to take it home and play it to Penny. It might bring on the birth, because he's just experienced himself.
That's fantastic.
It sounds like a couple of cats fighting.
Right. It's not a duet with Sticks Kernahan on here, is it?
No, along similar lines. Hey, before we let you go, North have released a very big offer. Buy for 2015, get 2014 free. And it's a membership deal, Jimmy boy.
Yep.
Non-members that sign up for next year will get a free membership to use for the rest of this season. That means free entry to Carlton, Geelong, Bulldogs or Melbourne games.
That's it.
The offer ends on Thursday, July the 31st. Call 1300 Kangas tomorrow. Visit nmfc.com.au for information. As I said, off the top, we are very appreciative when coaches come in, and when there's a bit going on, it's always a bit harder. But Scotty, you've always been great to us, and we wish you all the very best for Friday night's game against Hawthorn. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
We're going to go to a break. Always great to see the coach of the Kangas in. Next is Sam's mailbag, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Repco, What an Auto Store, Auto-B, and Sportsbet. Over 230 markets on every AFL match. Having a great time here on a Thursday night, and just a reminder, Damien Barrett not far away. He has got plenty out of his interview with Scott Waters. That's still to come. But now, time on the Footy Show for Sam's mailbag.
Still a little frostiness in the Scott Brown camp, judging by the fact Brad has elected just to leave the CD behind.
That was very good of Brad Scott, by the way, to come in. And there are a lot of AFL coaches that
I would have done exactly the same as
You've already said that, Gary. You're repeating yourself.
That's trout
Well, that's how important I think it is. And reiterating the point, and you would have done it for different reasons to Brad Scott. You would have done it just because you're ordinary.
Ordinary?
Yeah, and that as well.
And ornery.
Ordinary.
Yes. Here's your mailbag there for us.
Thank you, Jib. Allegra. Allegra? That's fast time in musical terms, isn't it?
Well, that's her name.
Yep, from McLeod.
From
Ventriloquist.
I have a quick quiz for you and your brilliant panel if they are up for it. Are you up for it, Wilfred?
Will's up for it.
It's more than just
She's
the one on the
clearly
panel, Samuel.
not addressing you, Trouthead. Which of the following close calls from the weekend do they find the most disturbing? This vision from the news of flying debris almost hitting onlookers?
Oh, wow.
Holy
That is unreal, isn't it?
That is unreal. That is a building imploding, Shane. And a large... Or, this is Allegra, this is humorous, or the fact on Saturday I almost bought your CD at JB Hi-Fi.
Well, both will put you to sleep, Sammy, so...
What's that, Will, what?
I said both of them will put you to sleep.
Very nice.
Very nice, Will.
That's it.
Extraordinarily
$2.99. They're pushing them out for.
very, very sharp, Wilfred.
Got us covered. So no need to go.
Luke of Hindmarsh. This is about the most industrious letter. He's put some work into this. Dear Sam, what makes you proud? What makes you proud? I can get proud, Gary. I haven't got proud for a while. Getting Gary to do this last week, did this make you proud?
Oh, no.
That's it. Fantastic.
Gee. Where's your head, Gary?
We've had so much chat about that, Gary, mainly because you were so annoyed. I want to make you proud tonight. Well, you have to come in, mate. I want to make you proud tonight, Sam, says Luke. At this point in the letter, you might like to show a still of Gary doing his sex face from a few years back. This is Luke. He's put all this together. Wait, there's more.
In a big week, look.
Whilst visiting Canberra, I found a tree that reminded me of that face. Now, I know you...
Gary.
Come on, Will.
No, just a minute. I said, now, I know you've shown rude trees before, then that was meant to come up.
Yes, nice. There it is.
Right, that's a rude tree.
Suckling tree.
Says Luke again, so I took a photo not just of the tree, but of me doing the face in front of the tree. This is Luke. He's still going, mate. And here is the bit I hope makes you most proud. That night, I had rissoles for dinner.
Oh, no. Samuel. This bloke.
I had rissoles for dinner, and guess what? I found one that also had a sex face.
That's where it is. Yeah, there it is. The old face looks like a rissole.
That's a funny looking rissole.
Hindmarsh is in Adelaide.
Was that sauce? What was on top of that? That didn't look like a rissole.
Oh, it was...
Nice, it was. A nice
Now,
one. Yep.
this is from Stompy of Fitzroy North, Foss. This video caught my eye. Do you reckon it's real? A man in 30 seconds puts on his pants without using his hands.
What?
Watch. Now there are the pants. We don't think it's trick photography. He's got socks on, so there's a... So there he goes. These are tights. He's getting there. That's him.
Done it.
That's unbelievable. I'm not sure that it's that hard, but I mean...
We're on, Foss.
Oh,
What?
what is he doing?
We're on.
Shane.
So, get your pants off.
Righto.
And your shoes.
What did you say there?
Get your pants off. Come on. Haven't got much time.
Can you do it for us in 30 seconds, you and Shane?
Could I do it in 30 seconds?
Come
You're
on,
lucky to
get your
my
pants off. We haven't got all the show.
If you're going to have a go at it, do it quickly.
I'll do it with you.
Come on. We'll see whether we can get these
And
on.
we are going to have a pants up.
Well, you're going to take your pants off. Hurry up.
Shane, you gotta take your shoes off.
What about this? What about that?
What do you want?
Oh,
Hold it.
no! Oh, grandpa's legs.
You're allowed to hold it because you can't use your hands.
That's
Oh,
it.
what?
What about it? What about while I'm trying to put
Just
them on
do
the
it.
plums?
Just-
What if the plums come out while I'm doing
They've
it?
already come out. There's one
No,
there.
Shane, get away from there.
Come on, Shane.
I thought a
Righto.
testicle snuck out.
Here we go.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock.
You get a bit of warm-up music. All right, here we go. 10 seconds of warm-up.
Righto.
Here we are.
1, 2.
30 seconds to get these on. Your
Hang on.
time starts now.
Now, this is warming up, so get your feet into position. All right. Here we are. Bang. Let's go. Shane. Look at the dominance of Shane. It's flying. 15 seconds down. Here we are. Wade Crawford. It's gone beautifully. 10 seconds, Shane. Right foot. You need to get your right foot in, Shane. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up! That's actually bloody good. You're no good. Shane, you've done a very good job with that, Shane.
What's that? Are you all right?
Have you tucked under there? Hey, have you tucked under there?
Did they come out?
Hey, you did very well. You did a very good job, Shane. You're the winner, so well done to you. Good on you. Sam, you did a good job. Good work. You want to be involved with Sam's Mailbag? This is what you got to do. Send your entries into Sam's Mailbag, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, or sams.mailbag at 9.com.au, footyshow.com.au.
Oh, gee.
Gary.
More crack than Harlem. Oh, my God.
Well, take the camera off. I'm doing this for the audience.
Let's have a look at the next game. Melbourne take on at TIO Stadium. It is Saturday night. The Demons went down to Wolvers Dogs last week by 6 points. Mark Jamar kicked 3 goals. Had a very good night in actual fact. McDonald and McKenzie come back into the side. Neville Jetter's out and Nicholson's been omitted. They take on Freo. Fourth on the ladder. 10 wins, 4 losses. Beat the West Coast Eagles by 7 points in a derby. Nate Fyfe signed the new 3-year contract. Absolutely dominated. Anthony Morabito comes back into the side after having been out for the best part of 3 years, which I think is one of the great stories of this year. So well done to Anthony Morabito. Good luck. Hey, Nick McClellan comes in as well, Joel. So this is up in Darwin. So whether that has any bearing on it, I'm not sure. But
I'm sure both sides are looking forward to travelling up, guys. But no, good luck to Morabito. Fremantle just a very strong side.
Yeah, they are. They are indeed. Wilbur, did you like anything about the Demons last week?
Oh, I didn't like that patch in the third quarter where they kicked 5 goals against us, so that wasn't the best of fun. But yeah, they've certainly a very much improved team this year, and congratulations to Hayden Ballantyne, who plays his 100th game for Fremantle this week. We'll get his name on the locker, and it'll be great to go up and Darwin and get a bit of heat, so they'll be happy to get up there. And I think Fremantle, professional unit at the moment, in great form. I think they'll be too strong for the D's.
Ross Lyon really gave it to his team after the siren last week, and I think that'll just spark them up to play really good four-quarter football. I think they'll win, but the D's will have a real crack, so Fremantle will win.
Yes, I think the Dockers. Gary, what do you think, Jim?
Well, I was interested in your question there a moment ago.
What was
you tuck the trunk?
Yeah,
Had you worked everything underneath?
Tucking underneath.
You had to really sort of...
Are you sitting in your jocks? Are you going to do the rest of the show in your jocks?
Well, Gary.
Yes. Of course, yes.
What I was trying to be wary of, fraught with danger, live television,
Yes, I know
that
that.
the plums or even the snag pokes out its head to have a sniff, to have a look round to see if there's anything worth coming out for. And I thought, we've already been reprimanded once for a little bit of ballage.
Yes.
And I was just worried that something might fly out.
Had a sort of... had a sort of truck bonnet look about it.
Real ferocious.
What did it have, Jim? A truck bonnet.
It looked like you'd sort of fashioned it into something.
I tucked it in. I tucked it back under.
That was what we were asking.
That's exactly right.
Inverted. Did you push it in?
Hey, let's not worry about that at the moment, otherwise he'll stand...
Thank you.
David Mundy also re-signing
How'd you get the beans above the frank?
So those are the two
sorry.
signatures that the Fremantle Footy Club needed. Did you pick Freo, did you, Samuel, or did you not?
Where'd you
No,
get
I
that?
did, Gary. Did you go for certainty?
No, not a certainty, but I think the Fremantle will win.
We go to a break. Next, we take a look at Tuesday night's extravaganza at Etihad. The EJ Whitten Legends game was enormous. Carl Stefanovic we need to get the bottom of, including everything else that happened. So do not leave the footy.
Let's go out there for EJ and the big V.
So I'm just going to take a big selfie.
He's going to take the first bounce. A sensation here at the EJ. Hockey and Carl are gone down. Crawl for the first goal of the game.
Have a look at Crawford, the captain coach, standing over through the goal, Archie. Chad Sullivan just bowled her over.
Oh, what about the ball? Yarrowitz goal.
Hughes! Oh, he's dropped it.
Fence time.
The party kicks her out.
The touch to the goal.
Get the ball and not go like that.
He's done it again, Lloyd.
On Crawford. Well done. 2 bounces, 3 bounces, hot stepping.
Oh, he's gone up into the crowd. Fantastic.
Someone told him on a goalpost at the other end.
There's a Hughes.
The kicking second. Chartreuse. Hughes has kicked it. He's got the man on.
Stefanovic.
He's lost it. An incredible finish. An unbelievable finish.
We stuck it up him.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. It's great fun Tuesday night at Etihad Stadium, the EJ Whitten Legends game. The 19th time it was. The Vicks have now won 4 in a row. The losing captain coach was Shane Crawford of the All-Stars over there. Highlights galore through the night. I'm going to get to Jim in a moment, who wasn't there but kept an eye on it at home.
Oh, I did.
But your star recruit, Shane, was...
Was me?
Breakfast Television. Breakfast Television's biggest name,
Yes.
Carl Stefanovic, who absolutely dominated early.
He was very good. I told him just before the first bounce, you're going up against Damien Monkhurst. And he said he didn't want to get physical. He didn't want to have any contact, but he was good. He got a lot of the footy. He had it go, and
he did.
He got into the spirit. He had a few beers.
Banana.
He really wanted to kick a goal, but he just sort of had no idea in the forward line.
Well, he had the chance to win the game at the end there.
Well, he did, and he totally
forward.
misjudged the ball coming in. But he had a go, and that's what it's all about. Very happy with him. And,
yeah, this is the final play. 6 seconds on the clock.
Yeah,
Just needed a mark. Have a look at this attempt.
Well, this is it. Get under there, Carl. You're by yourself. Oh, my goodness. I took the risk. I brought Abby in, who I thought was magnificent. I brought Carl in. I thought he's going to give me something, and he didn't when it counted, but that's okay.
Abby Holmes kicked 3 goals.
She was great, and we were pumped to have her on the team. But, no, it was a wonderful night. Everyone played in the right spirit. It was great to see all the celebrities involved.
Yeah, everyone making themselves available was a great thing. Dave Hughes, of course, was the big draw card. Strawny has been the draw card over the journey, but Hughes, he was desperate to play. He got on the end of this one in the first half.
He
went
made
back.
it count, Gary. That's the thing.
He was excited.
Kick
that was his
straight.
only touch for the first half, Hughesy. We came up the commentary box, did a stint up there, ran under the ball all night, Jim, to be perfectly
And
honest.
hands a bit
But look at these
brick-like.
hands. Just bobbled around, went back and slotted
That's a pressure kick,
the
though.
match winner there.
That's what pretty much won the match. And when he had to come through, he came through with the goods. So well done, Dave Hughes. Very good.
I will say this, and that is, I was one of the many, I think the 4th highest watched game of football all winter, Gary.
Sad state
All games I'm talking about.
Yes.
And what we like to do with this particular game is the annual Richie Vandenberg Award. And this goes to a man who takes this game way too seriously. And Richie, of course, loves the fact that we bring him up every time, Crawl. And, of course, let's run through the nominations for this year. I'm starting with Sammy Solomon, our man. It wasn't my idea, Sammy, to bring you up, but here he is tackling Abby, throwing it to the ground. That's not on.
Yeah, the only man actually tackled Abby for the night. He said, no, not having any of that.
That's
so,
it.
Sammy.
He gets the first nomination. Up second, Gary.
Well, this man here was for the 2nd year running the man of the match. Our very own Matthew Lloyd, Channel 9's own. He got the award. He's supposed to nick off right now, but he said, no, I'll have a speech. So we were desperate to get out of the broadcast, and Lloydie spoke for another 2 minutes, so that was too much.
And former teammate Michael Osborne was very, very good. Kicked a wonderful goal. Look at this for a torpedo. Have a look at this. This is just a barrel straight through the middle. And then he took one of the marks of the year over his former teammate, Campbell Brown, who knocked him out about 5 minutes earlier.
That's it.
And have a look at that. He was up and about, he was pumped, and he was ready to go.
Yeah, there's no place for that sort of quality in this game, but this man goes down as the winner, I think, this year, Gary, because the game was down to the wire. 9 points up the Vicks. It needed a mark from the All-Stars and then a 9-pointer. And as we'll show you in the vision here, the ball went inside 50. What the hell was Jason McCartney thinking? Yeah. He's folded back into the hole and buggered the whole game up.
He did.
And then he buggered his ankle up at the same time. So he
it
can't play now for a
It was set up with, and these things just happen in these games.
Miracle out happens, Gary.
40 seconds to go, a goal from outside the 9 point would have been a draw, and we were going to have a kick-off, which would have been entertaining.
I knew that at home watching.
Jason McCartney got in the hole and marked it.
He marked it and buggered the whole script of the night up. So for that, Jason, you win the Richie Vandenberg Award for 2014.
Just a quick point, Gary.
Yes.
How to make things really complicated when they're not. Our friends at Seven and Fox, they, when they want to see if a goal is scored and it's gone over the line, they have goalpost cam, they have lipstick cam, they have drones, they have 3D imaging, they have Hawkeye. We went down to Dick Smith and got a handy cam. It cost $139.90. And if you couldn't tell that this was a goal by a simple piece of mechanism, which is not it we've shown, we're going to show the goal line, this here. That is all you need, people. That's cost $42 million, Seven have spent trying to get a goal line technology. We just went down and did it with a handheld camera, and that you can't get any clearer.
Well, well, that is true, but I'm not sure they'd allow a cameraman on the ground of an actual AFL game. But anyway, it was good thought by you, Samuel. Let's get on to the real... Great fun, well done. We're going to get on to some serious news now, and the most serious news broker in the business is Damien Barrett. Please welcome him.
Good, guys. We'll start tonight with Scott Waters. It's 8 months since Scott Waters was sacked by St Kilda, and that's a sacking that he's handled with great class and continues to do so. He has, though, tonight opened up on a few topics, and we'll start here by asking him, does he regret taking on the job? And we'll also get here his views on St Kilda Football Department boss Chris Pelkin.
Oh, look, I think all coaches like challenges. And there were some obvious challenges going to St Kilda, no doubt. But there's challenges at every club. You take that on in good faith. Look, it would have been good if some of the internal support was slightly different, but it wasn't. Again, we move on. It's not something I really dwell on that much now.
Chris Pelkin, is he the reason you're no longer at that footy club?
Look, I'm unable to comment, on Chris specifically. I think it's fair to say that we have starkly different philosophies and set of values with regards to, I guess, how a football club and program should be run. And I'll just leave that there.
Two St Kilda legends, Nick Del Santo and Brendan Goddard, as well as a potential future captain, Ben McAvoy, left St Kilda under Scott Waters' watch as coach. He says here those decisions were not his.
The head coach at St Kilda has limited impact on who stays on the list and who doesn't. I think it is sad that fabric players of your footy club, BJ, Del, and certainly Benny, aren't there. And I think that can be really dispiriting to a list when you see those players go.
So they weren't your decisions?
The final decision on who stays on a list is not the head coach's.
It probably is at some clubs.
I'm sure it is at some clubs, but not at St Kilda.
That is a staggering thing when you've got players of that quality at your footy club and that experience and the fabric of the club in lots of ways. So, I mean, the extended interview on this will be on the Sunday Footy Show, so we'll hear more about that. But he's saying effectively that those players moved on and he had no control over it.
Yeah, and the relationship with Chris Pelkin is something he chose not to go into there, but there certainly was a divide between him as coach and the head of football, and you can clearly see, and probably more that he didn't say there, the direction of the footy club was something that he was against. There's another big name at St Kilda, as we know, during the week, Justin Kosicki, lamented publicly the fact that he was made to wear the green vest, the green sub-vest on his 200th and final game of football. Again, Scott Waters here today, or tonight here, gives that a context.
Even within the last couple of weeks, Cosy was unable to complete a training session, so it was a real stretch. Leading into the game, medical staff provide the advice to me that probably a quarter and a half to 2 quarters is the maximum you're going to get out of him. Do we bring him in late, get him through the last part of the game? And I was really committed to that because I saw the opportunity for Cosy to leave the ground arm in arm with Milne, arm in arm with Blakey, and really celebrate that day.
More detail around that issue and other matters discussed there and other matters on the Sunday Footy Show and that interview. And Scott Waters does have offers to consider, and there will be more coming. We expect to him to return to the AFL ranks in some form in 2015. We'll move on to Richmond's Jake King. His mentor and his manager, Glenn Archer, wanted to come out and speak publicly to us during the week. And he starts here by talking about Jake's future in the game. And he moves on to the frustration that both he and Jake have over the public's fascination with Jake's friendship with Toby Mitchell, particularly during the week that Jake just had, where he helped improve the life of a sick Perth child in the name of Nate Anderson.
Yeah, well, he's got a foot issue. He's had it all year. He's had it for a while now. So he won't play for the rest of the year. Jake's a realist. He knows that unless he can get it right, that'll be the end. So in his mind, he thinks he can give another year, but it's going to be up to his body. Probably the thing that really hit home was the article that was written on the weekend. He did a magnificent thing. Him and the Richmond Football Club brought over a young boy, Nate, but again, they write an article in the paper and they put a picture of Toby and Jake. I know for a fact it's frustrated Jake. I feel that I've actually got to stand up and say something to the public because the misreporting is starting to do my head in as well. He's friends with Toby Mitchell. Jake is probably the most staunch and loyal person I've ever come across, and I've met a lot of people over my time. And he's a guy that he won't drop off a friendship because of people taking photos and putting it in the paper.
Glenn Archer there, you can see he's pretty worked up, and he wanted to reveal that all publicly to us during the week, so it's his choice to come out and say all that. A couple of players who are out of contract, and we'll get Will Minson's view on one of them in a moment. Shaun Higgins, he's continuing with his plan to remain out of contract and to not address his future at the Bulldogs until the completion of the home and away season. There is already some interest from other clubs, and there's expected to be more come that time after round 23. Will, do you have a read on Shaun Higgins' future?
Oh, look, he's starting to play some good footy at the footy club at the moment. He's one of the great leaders at our footy club, so I'm sure the decision that's been made to wait till the end of the year is one that he and his manager have decided on, and it's not really for me to to make much judgment on that.
Do you worry when you hear players or teammates put off their contract negotiations when they're a free agent?
Oh, look, I mean, the week-to-week challenges of just playing these days are so much that a comment like that makes a lot of sense, because every game is really tough, and the recovery, and as the season goes on, you need to spend more and more time preparing for games each week, and it's easy to say, look, I want to worry about footy and we'll worry about contracts later in the year. So.
Taking fly fishing, maybe will.
Yeah, very good point. The rivers are closed at the moment, so I haven't been out for much of that. But when they reopen again, I look forward to it.
Because you're going.
After that last stunt, Will's reconsidered the offer to take me fly.
I said, Samuel, the waiters will be much harder for you to get out of, so I feel quite safe.
Yeah. He's not the only one, Purple?
No, Andrew Gaff, JB, similar situation. West Coast still remains confident that he will stay with them, but again, there's a big pull from Melbourne to have him return, but West Coast does remain confident.
From Melbourne Football Club?
No, Melbourne in general, guess. So it could well be the Demons, but Melbourne in general. Stephen Trigg, a very polarising character when it comes to AFL CEO officialdom, and that because of his involvement in the Kurt Tippett affair, is a person of great interest to two clubs who need a CEO, particularly Brisbane. They're very interested in having a chat to him about their role, and Carlton, who is also needing to replace Greg Swan, is interested in having a chat to him as well. Steve Wood, the former Tennis Australia boss, is also in the mix there at Carlton, but Stephen Trigg could well be on the move to either Brisbane or Carlton.
Hey, Damo, just back on Jake King and Toby Mitchell. It's my understanding that the King camp understand the fascination around them being mates. Their disappointment was that article was about an amazing thing done with a young man, and they were very disappointed that photo was wedged into that article. Is that...
That was a specific of why Glenn Archer wanted to speak to us during the week,
I think that's pretty fair too, Jim. I mean, that kid might want to put it in a frame or something like that. I think it's quite disrespectful to bring that in. And I mean, Jake's has a right to be friends with whoever he wants.
It's not in context.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Damo, thank you very much for that.
And finally, Gary, hearty, and you too, hearty congratulations. You've had a big week. On Monday night, the all-time high rating figure for Footy Classified was... You achieved that. You, Gary, Hutchie, Lloydie, Damien and Caro. The highest rating ever for Footy Classified.
That's why Damo was on.
What's that?
Damo was on.
What, Caro wasn't there?
Well, I didn't see it myself, but
Well,
I'm
was
gathering
Caro
Damo
on?
was there.
The highest rating ever and Caro wasn't on? Well, would you be surprised at that? Was that right?
It's a scurrilous man you are.
Gary, was it the highest rating ever?
Not ever, but this year...
It was ever. You said it was...
This year...
Oh, this year. You said
Caroline was on
furlough.
break, and she would be back
Caro was on furlough and it was the highest rating ever. I don't know what you take out of that.
You're a peanut. Yeah, she'll be back on Monday. Well done, David.
Well done, David. Well done, David. We also have information, Gary, that the Geelong hugging man may have entered the building.
What?
Now, we don't know. We think he's here, so we're just making sure.
And just quickly.
Oh, no, again?
No, just quickly. You said you can't have a handheld camera on the line to judge goal decisions. Why can't you?
There was a man with an actual camera.
Why can't you have a man on the line?
What if Joel Selwood, who's worth $2 million, falls over and
because he's behind the goalposts.
Oh, what? You're going to run up and stop and go, I won't run through there because there's a camera.
You're just filming behind goalposts.
Yeah, but Sammy, what's the point? Why don't we just have an umpire say, you know what, it's a goal, it wasn't a goal, and we back him in on his judgment?
Oh, good one.
That's it. Too good, Will. We need to get the next game going. So much shame. It is, of course, GWS and Adelaide as we thank Damien Barrett. Smokeless Stadium Saturday. And we see the changes here for GWS, who are 16th with 4 wins, good performance. Green, William, Scully come in. And Smith, of course, having a nice season. Dev Smith, good little boy. Adelaide, for pleasure again, Gary. Goes out for Porpoise. He cannot get hold of this upper thigh region area he's got. Laird, Henderson, McKay and Rutten.
I think it's on the button.
Well, I think it must be. It's a coccyx issue. Yeah. Jacobs, a very, very good player. And Shane, do we like Adelaide here?
Yes, we like Adelaide. They're putting very good pressure on. They were good against Port Adelaide. I think they can win and win reasonably well. And with the goal, with filming on the goal line, you should get all the posts, because we've been talking about it, you should get all the posts as cameramen. So dress them up as posts and film, and then that way you capture everything. We've been having a bit of a chat about it.
This is trout sperm over here.
Minnow, what do you
Anyway,
think?
I think Adelaide
Well,
will win.
GWS are the #1 clearance side, and I think that'll be too much for the Crows this week.
I can't see that happening. I mean, I watched Adelaide last week in the showdown and they were very impressive.
Hey, Minnow.
That's unbelievable.
4-0, Minnow, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'll tell you what, Wilmot, when Footscray...
Wilmot or will not?
Will Hampton. When Footscray lose their only grand final or their second grand final that they've ever played in, when they lose by a disputed goal line decision, you will say that idea that the Foss had about having a camera on the line is a winner.
But it
rather
could have
than
been,
leaving it to human judgment.
But it also could have been the boundary umpire not throwing it in far enough and everybody getting caught offside. But it could have been a
Five. This is like Kyrgios against Nadal.
It is.
He's giving you a nice pumping
Give
at the
up,
minute.
Foss. You've got you covered. Who are you tipping?
Or you could have a cameraman
Gosh,
as a post.
Let's get your tip out.
Come on, quick. Adelaide or the GWS Giants?
The GWS. No. Adelaide, sorry. Adelaide.
All right, I'm going with Adelaide as well. We're going to take a break. Plenty more still to come.
The stuff we've got still to come tonight is sure to keep you watching. Croft dishes out almost footy legends, and the Force does Footscray in Street Talk.
Hello, sir. Have you heard of this man?
Plus, Gaz presents one courageous young footballer's incredible story. So don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. It's going off and we're loving it. We're having a great time. And it's now time for Almost Footy Legends. And we're going to get Roland McLeod, Ivanhoe, the son of Gary Moorcroft. Have a look at that. For a hanger. Takes after his father, Joel.
Yes, that one in the square was a big one.
What have you got?
Newcombe and Bowen heads now, and Newcombe, they've had a tough year. Watch the guy on the mark here.
Oh!
Probably
What do you call that manoeuvre?
Oh, I'm not sure what we call it, but he's probably putting a bit too much time into it.
Swan Districts against Perth. Have a look at this for a hand. Magnificent. Who's the
Nice
player?
grab. Tony Knott. So Tony Knott used to play with the Eagles many years ago.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was pretty good. All right, which one did you like?
I actually liked the number 2.
Like number 2, standing on the mark. Did we like that? No? What about number 3, the big high mark? What about number 1? All right, number 2, just like Joel, you have won this. Congratulations.
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. With over 230 markets on every AFL match, check out sportsbet.com.au. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in home gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 cash. All up, that's a $50,000 prize. What about that as a way to kickstart the renovation you always wanted? So if you want to do it right, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
Amazing prizes. Get involved. Send your entries to Almost Footy Legends, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, and don't forget to upload them. Get online, footyshow.com.au. Thank you, Gary.
Very nicely done, Shane. Look, we all love our football. This is an inspiring story about a young man that is from Echuca originally. He's been travelling up to Albury, where he's been studying for the past couple of years, been playing footy for the Albury Tigers, loved his football. We just missed out on playing in 2 grand finals for Albury, fronted up again for his 3rd season, and in the game opening round of the Ovens and Murray League, the Albury Tigers were playing Yarrawonga. And James McQuillan went for a footy, which he's probably been doing for most of his life, and he got struck in his, to the head and suffered irreparable damage to his spinal cord. I went out and caught up with the young man last week, and as I said, it's an inspiring story. It's the harsh reality that we play a dangerous game at times, but this man has got the right attitude. This is James' story.
A young country footballer is in a critical condition tonight.
Midway through the second quarter of the Albury Tigers round 1 clash with Yarrawonga, disaster struck for the talented 21-year-old.
Had to head over the footy going in to pick it up and just ran into a bloke's thigh. No malice involved at all. I don't remember sort of the 30 seconds before the actual incident, but I remember falling backwards onto the ground and knowing it was pretty bad, and I just told everyone not to touch me because I knew how serious it sort of was.
Straight away you understood that it was fairly serious?
Yeah, well, I couldn't really feel my arms or my legs.
Right. Your girlfriend, which is unbelievable, is one of the trainers at the footy club. I'd imagine she, amongst a heap of others, were out there really quickly.
All I remember from the day, I could play it over in my head again and again, I think, was someone went down on the other side of the field, the far side, and another player waved us over. And two of the trainers took off in front of me and I was next, and I didn't realise that it was James until I was about 20 metres away and my stomach just dropped. I was so glad that there was other people there, because I couldn't do anything. I was just in a bit of shock.
You're taken by ambulance to not the Albury Hospital, because you're telling me that the airport had to be resealed.
We went to the Albury Hospital originally, and I got some scans and stuff done, and we found out that I'd broken the body of my C5 vertebrae and had compression on the spine. And we got told we had to go to Melbourne to see how serious it was going to be. But we couldn't fly out of Albury because they were really resealing the runway that night. So I got put under and just put to sleep and got in the ambulance and went to Wang. From what I'm told, and we flew to Melbourne and straight to the Austin Hospital.
What's going through your mind? You're thinking about footy, you're thinking about life, your family, your parents, your girlfriend?
As you can imagine, it was pretty confronting, and I don't know, I didn't want to read too much into it. I thought I might have, it might have just been one of those things and I might walk out of the hospital that night. Just a freak thing. But I don't know, you sort of don't want to read too much into it, and you hope for the best, but you sort of prepare for the worst. The surgeons did an incredible job repairing the vertebrae and taking the compression off the spinal cord. So, I couldn't be more thankful for what they did.
And what's your range of movement now?
So I've got biceps and wrist extension. It's sort of, you go in phases as you go down. So triceps will be the next thing to get back, if I get that back, and then some finger movement. But I think I've got a flicker in my triceps, but the physios tell me I don't. But I'm just going to go with my side of the story on that one, I think.
Absolutely.
It's times like these that bring out the best in people, I guess. So, it's funnily enough, he's dragged us all through, like his family and I, he's dragged us through the hard times, which sounds strange, but we've been relying on his positivity. It's hard to be anything but positive when he's so amazing. You're always going to have your bad days, I think, but I've got such a good family and incredibly supportive friends that if I'm having a bad day, I flick a message off to a couple of mates and ask them if they can come around for dinner so we can, talk a bit of shit, pretty much. My family and my friends have been incredible. I feed off them. That's where I get my positive attitude from.
Is there a limit on where you can get to, or do you just retain an open mind?
I could walk again. It may not be tomorrow. It could be next year. It could be in 30 years when they discover a new technology or something like that. I believe I'll walk again.
There's James McQuillan. He's an unbelievable young man. He's got a wonderfully supportive family and girlfriend Catherine there, who, as he said, and she said, unbelievably, Jim, she was a trainer on the day. So the James McQuillan Future Fund's been set up to assist. Obviously, he's got enormous challenges ahead of him. JamesMcQuillan.com.au. Our great friends at sportsbet.com.au have kicked in $10,000, which is just so appreciated. We hope that the Footy Show family, and we know they will rally around and help out where they can. The footy community has been extraordinary. Albury Footy Club in Yarrawonga played for the first time last week, and Mike Fitzpatrick went up and spoke at a fundraising lunch. James's parents have also asked that if you're a local footy club and they're imploring you to get the highest level of player insurance that you possibly can get in the event, hopefully, touch wood, it never happens, but in the event that something like this does take place, that the players in the club are well covered. So James will be watching tonight, loves his footy, big Bomber supporter. We're with you, mate. We're going to follow your story, and you've got all the support in the world. So good luck.
Well done.
Coming months.
Well done, Gary. Too beautifully handled. Thanks to Sportsbet. 10 grand is wonderful, so anything we can do to help, we certainly will be doing that. A big Bombers fan, as you just said, he takes a look at his mob this week. They take on Port Adelaide. We've got plenty of interest in it. Saturday night, Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide, a rare poor performance for them on the weekend, going down to Adelaide, 33 points. O'Shea, Cassisi and Young come in, and they are at home against the Bombers. who are 10th, 7 and 7. Hibbart's a good player out injured. Fletcher doesn't travel as much these days. The old boy, Winderlick and Bagley and Heppel in the middle of a fine season. Shane, what are you thinking here?
Hibbard out is a massive out.
Yep.
I think he's an all-Australian defender, very good run with, but also creates very, very well. So I think Port Adelaide will win. They'll bounce back and they'll continue on their good form.
Hey, Will, before you answer, I want to ask both you and Joel, can you be up too early in a season? I mean, Port Adelaide jumped out of the blocks. They're absolutely flying. They've now got a couple of injuries to key players. This is the sort of period of the year where you want to be right. We're in the run to the finals. Can you get up too early?
Well, certainly not something that we're experiencing at the
No, that
moment.
is
So
that's a very good point, Will.
Probably the easiest to answer. Joel's probably had that in more recent years, but I mean, I think you just want to win every week, and it doesn't matter how you get there. And sure, when you're playing really good football and teams are aspiring to beat you because you're the best in the business, then sides get up for those sorts of games. So it does, I imagine, make a challenge a little bit bigger, but the bigger it is, the better it gets, I
The
suppose.
season's quite long, Gaz, and the Port Adelaide Footy Club, I mean, I think it's a minor hiccup. I know having played under the coach that they've got, I think they'll strike back pretty hard this weekend.
Right. You go Port too, River?
I think the only club that could deal with that sort of pressure is probably the Bombers. So I reckon the Bombers travel pretty well. It could be an interesting game over there.
You know what the winner is, don't you, Jim?
Yes.
The ground.
The beautiful Adelaide Oval.
Ground's the winner.
Yeah, tough to dominate there, Sel. All right. So you think Port Adelaide are going to win?
Well, you'd be hard pressed to pick the Bombers, wouldn't you?
Very nice. Oh, hello.
I'm playing the certainty.
Who are you going for?
Oh, who would you think? Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide. Hey, I think they'll win. Kenny will be savage on that loss last week, so get him up. Hey, what we did love this week, I think the whole of Australia loved it, was our man Nick Kyrgios.
Nick Kyrgios.
Our man. Unbelievable. His performance at Wimbledon getting to the quarterfinals was unbelievable. We hadn't heard of him this time last week, but he's now our man officially.
Hawthorn supporter.
He's what?
He's a Hawthorn supporter.
Is that right?
No.
No.
Rafa.
He beat Rafa. And look, we've all played tennis. You played a bit. Will, you play a bit of tennis?
Just play a bit of tennis.
Yeah, I've played a little bit.
Jim, you wouldn't.
Not as much.
I was a very good tennis player, but there's only one man on this panel that had it covered. Have a look at this stylings here.
Oh, look at
this man
that.
here. Have a look at it. That should be a bit of your slice backhand there,
You look like you're operating a slice backhand and a very dark outfit
and
going
nice
there
up
too.
on your toes. You're cutting back under the footy,
and while
under the ball, rather.
And the moose knuckle as well.
Shut up, Trout. While we're on it, Gary, could we ask anyone who employs people to direct sport that when the contest is over, could we watch the two combatants walk to the net, walk to anywhere where the ring, boxing, whether it's football, cricket, follow them and watch them shake hands rather than showing inane shots of their support crew in the crowd, people, imbeciles with their face painted, their girlfriends, their boyfriends. We missed the vital part of Rafael Nadal and that Kyrgios shaking hands by imbeciles.
Well said by you, Paul. We'll take a break and be more hard-hitting footy show after.
I think obviously it's a pretty special occasion. I think I haven't thought too much about it, to be honest. It's a huge honour. Andrew McLeod's a very good friend of mine, and there's been a couple of us now that have played over 300 games, which is a fantastic effort.
Oh, he's kicked it again, Adam Goods. What a star. Classic Brownlow medal form from the two-time Brownlow winner.
I'm definitely enjoying my football more than I ever have, that's for sure. I'm just enjoying being out there and enjoying winning and enjoying being able to contribute. To be honest, I'm just having fun.
Goods is the target. Oh, Goods! Goodness me. Goods ties it even further, collects his own ball, runs inside 50. No way! That's off the scale!
Any AFL player and their teams get measured is on that ultimate success at the right time of the year, and that's during finals. So I've been part of two Swans teams that have had ultimate success, so they've been the best teams that I've ever been part of.
Goods, can he roll through? He can! Come at the moment, come at the champion!
welcome back to the Footy Show. One of the most decorated players in the game. Another accolade this weekend. Adam Goodes plays game number 341, the most by an Indigenous player, and also draws level with Chris Grant as the 14th most games in the history of AFL footy. He is a superstar. Well done, Let's have a look at his team. They go on the West Coast Eagles Sunday, Patterson Stadium. We'll go at the Eagles first. Crossbeat to Freo by 7 points. They made a couple of changes. Brendan Lysett, Cripps, Carter, Sinclair come in. Brown and Bennell go out. Prittis is a star, Kennedy's a star, but they're just struggling at the moment. 11th on the ladder, 6 wins, 8 losses, whereas the Sydney Swans, 3rd on the ladder, 11 wins, 3 losses, rolled the Giants by 46 points. Rowan, Hewitt and Derricks added to the squad. George Hewitt, taken with pick 32 in the 13 national draft, will make his debut if, in fact, he makes the final squad of 22. This is at Patterson Stadium. Jolie boy, any chance the Eagles...
Oh, I don't think so, mate. Swan's up and rolling. And
like you said, Gary, congratulations to Adam, the brother of Brett. I might point out, incredible achievement, and I think the Swans will be too good.
I'm liking Nathan Jones' brother, Zach. Is it Zach Jones?
Zach, yes.
I tell you what, he can go. He's played a couple of games. He's going really well for the Swans. But he just looks like he's getting better, which is scary. And well done, Adam Goodes. You're an absolute star. So the Swans will have a big win over the West Coast Eagles.
Of course. Yep. Now you have to pick the Swans over there.
What about Buddy? Just jagged another 5.
Yep.
It looks like he's getting better.
A change is as good as a holiday, Gaz.
We might need to embrace that notion.
It might be love. He's in love. Maybe that's what does it for you, Sam.
With whom?
With Jacinta.
Jacinta. Who is Jacinta?
Oh, we'll have to explain that to Foss in the break.
In the break.
Swannies to win, Jim Boy.
All right, we'll keep busting along. The next game, shut up, Sam. Carlton take on the Saints. And the Blues have Robinson out, suspended. And coming in just a squad at the moment, of course, Graham Bell. There you go. Holman and White. Garron involved in a very nice game last week, and he's a very good player. The Saints lost to Richmond 44 points last week. Again, just a squad. Dennis Lane, Schneider, Ray and Robertson come in a nice game played by Hector Savage on the weekend. Eddie had this one. Jolie, what do you think?
It might be a tight game, I reckon. And, yeah, Mick was a bit angry early in the week with Sheed, so I think his Carlton boys might get up for him.
Congratulations to Mitch Robinson, who plays his 100th game, another milestone.
He's suspended.
In fact, he won't be.
No, he won't. Got rubbed out. Where does it say that? It's not on the sheet.
It says where he rubbed out.
Mark on the teleprompter. Come on, Paddy. Saints will get up then.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Blues, but someone in this audience is thinking the Saints, aren't you? Oh, okay.
He's had a puff.
Someone in this audience is thinking they can win.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Stage fright, Shane.
Someone in this audience thinks the Saints can win.
Righto, sit down. Samuel, Forsell.
I'll tell you, Scott Clayton is in love with Jacinta.
Yeah, rubbed out.
That's his wife.
That's true. Gorgeous woman she is indeed. Jacinta Campbell, who's a great friend of
How
Channel
many
9.
wives have you had, Sam?
Of my own.
You should have used your own device here, Force. Look at this. Look what he's about to produce here.
What?
Do it again, Gary.
How many wives have you had?
Of my own. No, it's for you, Will. We've got new zingers. We can give him the accolade it deserves.
All right, we're going to go to a break first of all. We might get a joke from Will, but we can tell you that the hugging man is in the house, going through a very extensive security check before we let him loose on Jolie Selwood. So we might get him out later. But Street Talk up next from Footscray.
I work.
Travel agent.
No, I work.
Thank you, sir.
No, I work for Co-Health.
Yeah.
The Western Bulldogs smelling good, and now with added Bontempelli. Yum!
How are you going? Everything all right? Yep. I'm saying, have you heard of Marcus Bontempelli? You heard of Marcus Bontempelli?
No, don't know.
All right. What's it all about? Well, he is That's the new ingredient into a brand of dog food because he's got the bulldogs up and about.
Gives them a bit more grunts.
More grunts, sir. More woof, more bark.
Oh, well, more beans.
The Bont.
Yeah. That guy who kicked that good bloody goal.
He's goal of the year, we reckon.
I would say bloody close.
It's fantastic,
I'm keeping the language down. Good case I'm on.
No, you're on. Don't worry about that.
You're the mother from the TV.
A mother that's right, from the TV. Thank you very much.
Can I have a go at it?
Yeah,
Can I have a time?
What's put spice into your life? This is what we're vaguely asking. What gets you up and about?
Coffee.
Coffee? Yeah,
Coffee and a bit of sex.
Now we're talking, silly. When was the last time you got excitement in your life? Like Bontempelli's put it in the Bulldogs.
The last time I got inside...
What gets you excited?
When me missus left me.
The coffee was to soften us up, but sex is what gets us up.
That's what gets us up.
Not... Well, she left you.
Yeah, I went out and celebrated.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Hey, this is all right, brother.
And I'd never heard of the Bont, but mind you, I'd never heard of bubbling until yesterday.
Oh, yeah, what was it, Todd Carney?
Bubbly? Yeah, bubbling.
Bubbling?
Yeah.
Nah.
He was standing in the toilet and he's,
trying to one-up on that planking. And so now they're bubbling. Tasting good or what?
Well, I don't know.
Why don't you just crack it open and see
Have a
then?
taste.
No, it's dog food, sir.
Oh.
You don't eat dog
No,
food.
we can't be eating that.
No, mate, it's beautiful. How does he do that? Yeah. No.
Woof, 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 woof.
I'm a dog too. How are you, doll?
I'm Georgia.
Is your mum in?
She's in Brisbane.
In prison?
Brisbane.
Oh, Brisbane.
I shipped it out to Essendon.
Yeah, where? How long ago?
I've been there 3 years now.
Bloody beautiful. Will you like it there?
Out of shit house.
Thank you.
Woof, woof.
What have you been shopping since we spoke to you last?
I was shopping for a couple of beers.
Just a couple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Only drinking moderation.
Moderation?
Yeah.
What do you call moderation?
Ooh.
Just what?
Give me a number.
Yeah, I had a couple already, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait for the...
Sorry.
Look out.
You've done that just to get on TV.
Yeah.
Mama.
Channel 9.
Oh.
No, don't have any more. You'd end up dry lumping me legs.
Seen enough hillbillies?
And you'll just be sneaking home and maybe just take the top off a couple of others?
I would say damn good call.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I love it, Force. Beautifully done out there at Footscray. Now, we've got some big breaking news. Gary showed you at the start of the show, the hugging man, Tommy Hawkins, kicks the goal, finds the only Cat fan in the whole bay, and he absolutely loved it. And we put the call out at the start of the show. If this man's prepared to come in, we'll get him to meet the superstar captain of the Cats. Well, we can do one better. He has come in, and he's met the superstar mayor of Geelong, Bill
Now spin around. This is Shane. He's a hugging man, and he's still got the same gear on. Unbelievable.
Bill, what are you doing here?
Well, I've just come in for a free feed and been sitting out the back. Not a bad show.
Just hang on. People at home will think it's a setup. Now, what hugging man? Have you got actually got a name?
Shane.
Shane, what were you doing tonight?
I was just having a beer with a couple of mates, playing some cards.
Playing cards.
Were you watching the show, or did someone ring you?
Yeah.
No, you were watching
probably,
the show.
Yeah, I was watching the show, yeah.
I think he's pissed, yeah.
10 or 15 people.
So you got a couple of phone calls, did you?
Yeah, 10, 15 phone
Hey,
calls.
Shano, what did it feel like?
10 or 15
it was a tight game. And B, the big superstar full forward, goes
Yes.
whack and then comes straight at you.
It was, well, at the time...
What
was
are you
more,
doing there? We're just all Bomber fans.
That's a good point.
Well, that is a good question.
Why have you got the same clothes on?
They were, I was a friend of mine from work. His wife couldn't go to the footy, so he invited me along, and I went in the Essendon members with all the Essendon flogs, and I had to put up with them for half the game. So,
exactly.
So halfway, sort of through the last quarter, they were giving it to me a fair bit, as they were to Tommy, obviously. So I think he's come over to the crowd to give it back to him and maybe get a bit of support for Geelong supporters. There weren't many.
And they saw you. Gave you. And you're ugly. Look, good-looking man. Oh, he's a ranger.
Put that
But he's single. He's single.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
shocking, I know.
Yeah, you've
Now,
come in, and
yes.
it's fantastic.
Which-
Bill was...
Patterson
Lakes.
Lake.
Oh,
He's
that's
from?
a nice drive. We'll get something
Do you
for
know where that is, guys?
My word, I do.
Where?
Near the lake out near Patterson. You've got 3 Geelong legends
Yes.
here. You've got the captain, the current captain. You've got the former champion centre-half forward.
Yeah, full forward.
Full forward. And you've got the 300-game superstar. You can only hug one of them.
Stand up, Jolie.
Tonight, Shano.
That's it.
You can only hug one Geelong superstar. All right, we'll just let you go. Sit down. Stand up.
You're one of the hugging options.
You're one of the options.
Righto. Let's see where he goes to. On you go, Shano. Shano, you and Billy stay here. We're going to talk through the game. I'm going to get your thoughts on it. It's our last one. It's Geelong taking on the Western Bulldogs. Sunday Idiot Stadium. The Catters, as we mentioned, rolled Essendon by 9 points in a big game. Hamish McIntosh, Billy Spence and Hartman come back in. Harry Taylor plays game number 150. Jolly Selwood was a champ last week, as he always is. They take on Will Vinson's Western Bulldogs. Rolled Melbourne by 6 points last week. Ryan Griffin back in. Roughhead, Tutt, Campbell and Redpath. Jones and Daly are both being dropped. What about Jackie Redpath, taken with pick 62? 2011 draft, so he may make his debut. Both teams coming off good wins. Got a large battle to have a look at this game.
Jeez, how they go?
Well, Shano's kicked the captain out of his seat.
It's unbelievable.
Right, Shane, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, I think Geelong will
No,
win.
not you,
That's
Shane.
Shane.
That's Shane.
Oh, this Shane.
Why will the Cats win?
Well, they've got Joel Selwood.
That's good enough reason.
And Tom Hawkins will probably kick 6 at home, I'd
Well,
say.
what about the big fella next to you, Big Wilbur?
Irrelevant.
Hey, Will, you head down to Simmons Stadium. It's a big ask for any side, but you go in with winning form.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a great game on the weekend. We've played some good footy down at the Cattery in the past, so looking forward to the challenge this week. Great.
And Bill, what are you to be doing?
Oh, a couple of frothies in the pivot Sunday. Then probably to Lambie's.
Look at him, would you?
Then off to Lambie's.
Unshaven.
Kiss Chasey shirt on. He's never even heard of him.
Oh, Kiss Chasey. Good band. Good to see Redpath playing.
Yes, it is. Old Redders.
Redders. No, the Cats should win there at Simmons Stadium.
I think the Cats will. You've got a bit of a plug that you want to do?
Yeah, thank you very much. So this week, the Sons of the West Men's Health Program, which is the footy club started a few weeks ago, it's at its halfway mark. So we're encouraging all the participants, which I think we've got about 1,200 who have signed up to the Men's Health Program, to get onto the website, sonsofthewest.org.au, and complete their mid-program health check. So it's been a great initiative. It's something that we've stolen from the Liverpool Footy Club over in the UK, and it's been something great to come out of the footy club.
Well done. Sons of the West.org.au. Joel, Stevie J, how's he tracking, mate? Because we think he's also been a little bit sore. In fact, his coach said he has been.
No, he's been going okay. I mean, both Steve and myself would like to be playing better footy, and we'll play better as a side if we do. But I mean, we'll get back to that. We've just got to make sure that we're doing the right things. We're getting wins on the board, which is the most important thing.
Nicely said.
Samuel?
Jump in there and I'll take a picture, Sam.
We've got some time constraints.
There must be something in the name Shane. There's just the vacant look on both of them.
Samuel, who's going to win this game?
Shane drank a pint of beer, not one bit reached his stomach. His tongue soaked it up. What?
Force, who's going to win?
The Cats are going to win down there. Sorry, Will I think so. I think so. You got a zinger?
Jim's coming up with a break.
Hear the one about the two cannibals.
Hang on.
Hear the one about the two cannibals eating a clown? One cannibal said to the other, does this taste funny to you?
Force. There it is.
A certainty card for Jimmy
Certainty
Boy
card.
down to the Cats.
Brave.
It is. Well, they've won 50 of their last 51 down there, so it is a brave tip. We are going to a break.
Go to a break. We might get Shano to bring us back out of the break and see whether he's got a future in television. All right.
That's to come on the Footy Show. Stay with us.
And I've got Shano here, my great mate, and we want to thank the sponsors. Shano?
Yeah, we'd like to thank Sportsbet.
Yep.
Nissan.
Yes.
Home Timber and Hardware.
Yes.
And Retco.
And of course the panel have been magnificent tonight.
The panel, yep. Crawford was over there before, but Jimmy.
Crawford was over there before.
Yeah, Minson.
Will Minson and
Selwood.
Our next premiership captain, Joel Selwood.
Yeah, exactly. And well done to Gary and James, who have been great, and Sam, of course. And
we should remind everyone that Minnow and the Force will be road tripping this week to fly fish in Ballarat.
Magnificent. Look forward to that.
Would you like to come, Shane? Add some substance to the conversation.
Yeah, I'd love to come. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you what, if you don't drag one tonight, Shano, you're never going to get one. So here he is. Look at him. Good looking
Thanks for coming on the show. Congratulations.
Oh, no. Wind us up, Bill.
Here we go.
Good night, Bill.
Stay tuned.
Good night, Bill.
Next we have...
Good night, Australia.